Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
And welcome everybody to the glorious episode of the Student Body Right USC podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, and as always, I am podcasting off the beautiful shores of the Pacific Ocean. Beautiful day out here in Southern California. PORSBR is my Twitter handle. We're here with Coach B, kind of recapping the Notre Dame game and looking forward to the Utah Utes game. Our folks in Northern California just want to say, hey, thoughts and prayers. They had a little bit of quakage out there. There was an earthquake this morning. For them, and listen, there's no such thing as a small earthquake. I don't know what they be talking about on the news, talking about a small earthquake. I remember one time I went to go see Spider-Man, not like a couple years ago, and then all of a sudden it was my first time from moving out west to moving from the East Coast, and I was like, everything was shaking. I was like, yo, wait, everybody was all calm, and I was like, they're used to it. I wasn't used to it. I was like, yo, let's get out of here. So yeah, let's please.
I'm used to it. There's small earthquakes. I've been here my whole life, so there's small earthquakes.
Everybody who's been there for a while used to all the quakage as far as that goes. So USC loses Notre Dame 48-20. Kind of frustrating, kind of annoying because let's just sum it up real quick. It takes a lot of help from the opponent for this Notre Dame team to score 48 points. It just does.
And we gave it to them.
And they actually gave it to him in every way, and I don't care. I mean, it is what it is. They should have been able to fix some things in real time. What were your thoughts about this game? Because I feel like the immediate pressure was probably the most annoying thing for Caleb Williams to deal with. Like, I mean, you should be able to this offensive line that we talked about and we touted should not have been able to give up that kind of immediate pressure so consistently to Notre Dame.
Well, it was going to be difficult, right? They did some things, and hey, hats off to them. Al Golden, he's used to seeing Patrick Mahomes, right? He was on that Cincinnati staff that held Patrick Mahomes in check, right? And he understood the type of player that Caleb is better than anybody else. Why? Because Caleb likes to escape off the back of the pocket. All he did, make sure his ends kept upfield. He kept a lot of middle pressure, right? So, and then when you do that, we have to understand that, like, he stunned it and blitzed a lot. It wasn't that we were just getting beat with 4. He was bringing 5, sometimes 6. He was bringing from all different areas. Sometimes it was delayed. Like, it was a masterclass. And I'm going to be honest, it was a masterclass. Because when you have a guy like Caleb who can break all the rules of a structured defense, he said, guess what? We're not going to play structured. We're going to play man up on the outsides, and we're going to just pressure Caleb as much as I possibly can and make him beat us. Now, I heard from Lincoln that a lot of the and I have to go back and look at some of the film that a lot of the plays that we had behind that Caleb threw the interceptions, there were big plays that was behind that. Well, I get that, but at some point you got to stop dialing up shots when we're not to help your O-line out, right? He didn't help the O-line out at all. What he did was, we're going to keep taking these shots, and we're not going to give our O-line a chance. Why is what is going on with Marshawn Lloyd is going to bother me to the end of time right now. Because, again, love Austin, Marshawn Lloyd needs to be in the game. Better blocker, more physical back, right? We need Marshawn in the game. I'm not sure what's going on, but we need him in the game. So when I look at that and I say, okay, Notre Dame did a great job up front in their front 7. And making Caleb see things that wasn't there. Caleb had some bad overthrows, though. Some of those throws were plays I expect Caleb to make, right? That first interception, Caleb makes that play. I don't care if pressure to face or not. He just overthrew it.
Yeah.
The
one to Lake McCree.
Yeah, you just simply overthrew it. You got to make that play. Even if you throw it short so Lake can come back and get the ball, but you don't overthrow it, safety's sitting behind him. You know what I mean? So they did some things to rattle Caleb, yes, but I felt like it was a comedy of errors. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think our offensive line, could they have been better? Absolutely. You're 100% right about that. Offensive line could have been a lot better.
But even with that said, I think this was a game where, like, the defense takes a brunt of the pain every week. Yep. And this was a game where they were pretty much ready to go. this was every time Notre Dame had to go link to the field, they punted. They punted every single time and got a field goal one time, and they weren't going to score a lot of points in this game if you just didn't give up a defensive touchdown. They gave up a special teams touchdown. They gave up. I mean, they gave all those plays. So that was a crux. That was the crux of it. I'm not going to kill Caleb because this is a little bit of a learning process. The learning process. You're learning every day. He's a lot. I mean, this is the worst game he had besides the Oregon State game last year. All year in the 2 years he's been at SC, so I can't really destroy him as far as that goes. I would love to see if they're gonna bring that kind of pressure, like those little angle routes, little something in the flat to the
exactly
to
Marshawn
running
Lloyd,
back
to help out
Marshawn Lloyd to either Mario Williams or Zachariah Branch who was in the game. Can I see a little bit more of that, that edge run they had with Marshawn Lloyd to score a touchdown? Can we see something like that again? Can we see Marshawn Lloyd rush the ball 20 times in one game? He's only averaging 13 carries a game.
13 carries, exactly.
It's about winning, and I don't really care about the whole shot play, how you score. I think sometimes he wants to. I think he might care sometimes about how. I think he might care sometimes how he scores. I don't care if it's slow or methodical. Once you score in that game, if they take the opening kickoff and go 7-0, that puts and then kick the ball out of the back of the end zone so that Hartman has to go to length of the field. That puts so much pressure on Notre Dame. It's crazy because they know they don't have the offensive
to do that, the firepower, exactly.
Do that.
And what's funny is me and you had just talked about last week about special teams. Oddly enough, as soon as he ran it back, because I kept thinking it was up our kicker. It was the ball never made it to the end zone kickoff.
Yeah, never. I mean, I don't know if it was the weather or what the situation was, but I was sitting there saying, Lynch he definitely can reach the end zone,
right?
So I'm not sure what that was a plan to do that.
It seemed like a call because he kicked it to the same corner every time. It felt like a call.
So I did the research. I think there was 7 Division I schools, including Georgia and Syracuse, that don't have the special team head coaches, special team coaches. So because I kind of want to see how many teams don't have it. That's fine if they don't have it, but my thing is this is we're stop trying to reinvent the wheel. You don't have somebody in that position. Take the thought process out, and you kick the ball out of the end zone. So your defense, who actually has a good matchup in this game. They have a really good matchup in this game.
And we played well. I put on my I don't know if you've seen my post on my newspaper that I put out every Monday on Twitter. I said we can't blame Alex Grinch for this. You can't blame Grinch for this.
No.
There's no way. There's no way you can blame Grinch for this because if you look at defense possessions that they had to drive length to the field, 13 points he gave up. So you mean to tell me that my SC team can't beat 13 points?
And they actually did, but unfortunately they had 3 turnovers.
Right.
They win the game 20-13.
Exactly. So exactly. I'm looking at it come on, man. At every point, we have to play better. We have to be better. And I'm looking at Lincoln, like you talk about screen game. Well, his combinations in the screen game didn't help us either. He's running 2x2 screen game. Well, that as a defensive person, as a defensive coach, that helps me be even. I can play that man up. That's why you remember every screen that we ran, we were getting hit by the corner. The corner was coming up, not just plastering our receivers. We're now okay. So adjust, run bunch, go 3x1. Make them have to do something else. Give us some extra blockers on the end to at least try to get there. Yes, I know Zach. Zach only did. He only did what, kick return? That was it.
I think I think a couple snaps, but that was about it. That was
he didn't do much. I want to see him more, and I think he's just they got him back for another game, get him back for injury. I'd be surprised if he plays this week. I think, and then I think that he'll come back for Washington, depending on how healthy he is. But it wouldn't surprise me if they Branch ain't playing this week.
Yeah, I would say this. I'd agree with you on that. I am one of the interceptions was clearly a situation where pressure's coming. He's expecting Dorian Singer to run it across flat.
Right.
And he's trying to go up the field. And it's the Dorian Singer thing, dude, get on the same page or get off the field. Like I mean, like and I think at this
Yep.
point, it's about time to get off the field until he actually can get what's going on, because they can't have these critical interceptions. And like that one is not the one over Lake McCree's head that's on that Caleb would boom
Right.
that's on him. But that one you gotta be able to see that like nobody's with you. Like he could actually even sat on that route and got bigger
Yeah.
yardage. But but you gotta run that flat, so he has somebody to throw to. He's expecting you running flat, you don't run it flat, and then next thing you know it's an INT. So that really was not on Caleb. That's on the receiver. And then right now I'm looking at the whole thing with the receiving core is, and I love so Todd Washington has the 25 catches, and then Brendan Rice has 23. Those two are the top two guys. If you're not going to play Zachariah Branch, like I don't know if you can play Mario Williams either, because he is just so darn inconsistent. Like he knows the offense.
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird to me.
Yeah, and he knows the offense. He has special talent. He can make plays, but he's really inconsistent, and I can't deal with his inconsistencies. I think this could be a spot for somebody else to kind of step in and do that. Even if it's Michael Jackson, I can care less.
Well, he's been consistent. He's been consistent when he gets in the game.
He catches everything. Like
yeah,
that's
when Michael Jackson gets in the game,
yeah.
he's consistent. Like that kid doesn't miss. Like he's giving you maximum effort.
Yes, and even if you're not the game breaker, sometimes you just need 11 yards on 3rd and 9. Like,
well, how about this? We got a big body in Deuce Robinson. Why are we not playing him?
It's a matchup nightmare.
Why are we not playing him? Like there's not a cover for him in the slot. We don't have a cover for him.
You can even go 3. You can even have 3 tight ends on the. You can have him. You can have 2 tight ends and him on the field with Todd Washington, and still you can run and pass out of that formation. So you can do a lot of different things with that. I'd have fun. That's why I wish that the NCAA game was out now, because I would have a ball.
Are you serious?
drawing up plays for this offense. My God, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I would love it. But yeah, it is what it is. Listen, it's one loss. Quote unquote, everything is still in front of them. They do have an opportunity. They're 18th right now. They do have an opportunity if they made a little bit hard on themselves as far as the national championship goes. They gotta run the table. Luckily for them, they're not running it. They don't have like Army, Navy. They don't have
our schedule's rough still. We have a schedule. Yeah, we have a schedule in front of us that if we beat Oregon, we beat Washington, and we beat UCLA, like we have to. Not only are we back in the top 10, we're arguably in the top 6, and people are looking at our bad loss and saying, okay, now they're weighing losses, and we'll face one of them again in the Pac-12 championship game.
Yes, exactly. So I think that this is take it step by step. Had a couple questions about the Notre Dame game before you go to Utah. What led to the 3 turnovers? I just think the mix up on. I think every turnover has its own story. Offensive line was part of it, and I think also receivers and quarterbacks. You never realize how much they have to be in sync together, unless they are not in sync together. And I think I don't know what it. It's not for lack of work. I don't know if it's what it is, but like Singer and Williams are just not on the same page,
right.
and it's just weird as far as that goes. And the next question was from Jamie from New York, wants to know what was it? Do you see as being an ongoing issue? Is it weird to me that it kind of seems like while this team is more talented than last year, that last year was a better team?
So I don't know if last year was a better team, right? I think we didn't face the competition last year. We got the chance.
We had the light side, we had the light side of the schedule,
Right. We were able to ease into a groove a lot easier, and then when we stumbled, we still were able to. We were able to find our groove, right? We were able to push, because you got to think about it. Even the Utah game, we struggled in. Like, it's a fact. Like we had to score. That was the first time I had seen the score go over 40, and I think be outscored and lose a game. Like we both score 40 and we lose the game. Yeah. Like that normally doesn't happen. So I don't know if it was a better team. I just, like I said, I think it's the light side of the schedule, and we didn't face much adversity. And I think that's what our fans are facing right now, is seeing some adversity. And I think that it's a full institution, and as a team, we are facing adversity. Now, how do we come back from it? Do I see ongoing struggles? Possibly. We're going to struggle a little bit. we have to realize we struggled before Notre Dame offensively.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Notre Dame just kind of put a spotlight on our offensive struggles, but we were struggling before Notre Dame. We struggled against Colorado offensively second half. We were struggling against Arizona. We struggled against Arizona State. These things just didn't pop up right now. Now, I feel like once we get back healthy fully, as far as like Zachariah Branch coming back on, we get back healthy, then it might be a different story.
Yeah, and I think they need to. I think if he's going to be out, and he's going to be out these next 2 weeks, you have to insert some Deuce Robinson package in here. Like you have to because like what you might be missing is that special talent, that guy who can go 0 to 60 in a couple seconds and be a game changer. That way. So I think that's what I think. I mean, with Quentin enjoying his fumble as well. Like I think he maybe have, like, with the young players, he might be a little bit apprehensive about putting those guys in, but it's time. It's time. It's time. You recruit them. It's time to trust them a little bit as far as that goes. Do you blame Notre Dame or USC for the loss? I think they did a good job of pressuring him. I think that the thing that disappointed me was in this time being, just to be able to just get the ball to the playmakers quicker. So once they get to the secondary, they're just like a lot of these plays where they're one-on-one. So if it's any kind of missed tackle at all,
it's over. Yeah,
it's a touchdown. It's a touchdown, and it didn't need to be like this great spectacular throw to 50, 40 yards on the field. It could have been like the old school Niners where a 10-yard slant ends up being a touchdown.
Right.
And those plays were there on film. No question about it. So Utah comes to town, and this is going to be a situation where, and I'll make a statement and I'll let you go. I'll let you roll with it. Where a game where they're not going to get a lot of credit for winning this game. And the reason why I say that, even though Utah is higher ranked than USC, is because this is a situation where the casuals will say, once USC wins this, if USC wins this game, they're going to say, "Oh, whoop-de-doo, they beat Utah without Cam Rising." Even though Utah has really good special teams, they're a top 10 defensive unit, and defensively, this is a game where it's like they literally converted a safety to running back last week because they're so banged up. This is a great opportunity for them to win this game. Because let's be honest, you're not even playing a top 100 quarterback. Like you're literally playing a really bad quarterback here.
So here's the thing, though. I've already heard from people, you guys are gonna lose this game because they're gonna out physical you. So I'm on the other side of, I think we'll get some credit because Utah is seen as a physical team. We're seen as a not physical team. We're seen as a team that are gonna lose this game because we're not physical. And because people feel like because of last week, we got exposed. That's why we dropped further than Utah. There's no way we should be below Utah in these standings. Like there's no way. It just seems relatively impossible to me that we're this far below them, right? So to me, I'm looking at it as I think we will get credit. Utah also beat Florida with this same team, these same backup quarterbacks, right? So the same team, you can't say in one breath they beat Florida so they're good, and then we beat them so they're bad. You know what I mean?
Do that when SC is involved. They make up stories, though.
They'll make up their own narratives, but I'm not one that's not gonna let the narrative go because my thing is, people say we're not physical, we're not this, we're not that. Well, defensively, I felt like we were physical last week. I feel like this game. I feel like offensively, they did some things that we weren't expecting. And I think they're gonna try to mimic those things. Utah is. It's just that I don't think Caleb makes those same mistakes. Yeah. I think Caleb becomes more mindful in the shifts, in the line shifts. I think Caleb sometimes will take his line shifts out of position because he's seeing something that's there that normally is right, but you don't have an Al Golden on the other side that's dialing up these stunts and things and the speed that Notre Dame had on the outside. They had more athletes, truthfully, defensively than I even thought. Utah doesn't have that. Utah doesn't have the Clark Phillips who you can lock up one-on-one. He's in the league. Utah doesn't have Noah Sewell, who's playing middle linebacker, he's gone too. You know what I mean? Utah doesn't have these players up front that can match speed and cause havoc for Caleb and force him into these bad situations. I think that if we play the same physical brand of football we played last week, defensively, this game will be over at halftime. I think I'll probably be leaving the stadium. No, I'm lying. I'm not leaving. I'm watching this in full because it's a revenge game.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I do think. I mean, this is the best opportunity they have to beat. I mean, they get Utah at home. Utah is vastly different at home. I mean, I think you also on their resume they have games where they won at Baylor, where they were basically almost scoreless for like 3 quarters.
Right.
They played UCLA. They only scored 7 points against UCLA at home, like and UCLA, UCLA loses that game 14-7. So like, if I see like yes, I'll just want to take the victory and go home, but like this kind of needs to be like a 34-14, 34-17 kind of game where we are doing that in the second half. Just
no, I'm
out.
different. I think we need to be up 60. This is a game coming off last game where we need to make another statement to our conference, right? Utah's been winning games. We realize Utah's been winning games on what we call a struggle bus. They've been winning games defensively. They beat you, like I said, beat UCLA by what? Turnovers. You know what I mean? They're winning games by doing other unconventional. We have to beat them soundly. We need to put up points soundly and let the rest of the conference know that, hey, yeah, we might have failed, but don't get it in your head that what they did or what we did to ourselves, that Caleb's going to come out here and throw 3 picks. Because he's still the best quarterback in the country. He may or he may not win the Heisman. I said a while ago when I first seen the first game, he wasn't going to win the Heisman because we weren't trying to win. We weren't pushing Caleb to win the Heisman. Lincoln was not trying to have Caleb win the Heisman. If he put up the numbers while he was playing, great on him. You know what I'm saying? While he was in the game, cool. He put up 400 yards in the first half. Perfect. First half's all you get because at that point, probably up 40. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But after that, we're not trying to do that. Caleb was not going to win the Heisman, but this game has to be a game where you put everybody else on notice that, yeah, I made some mistakes, but that's not who I am. Because as long as Caleb doesn't make mistakes, there's nobody who's going to beat it. If Caleb doesn't make mistakes, we're not going to get beat.
Yeah,
and that's just why I see this game.
Yeah, and if they just, even if you punt in this game, it's still better.
It's a win. It's
still a win here. Jonah Ellis is one of those defensive linemen you got to watch out for. He has 9 sacks on the season. He's going to the league. Really good defensive lineman. So they should be the Trojans have to be aware of that. And Saino Vaki used to be a safety. Now he's a running back, and he had almost 160 yards last week against Cal. So he jumped into that in a fray there and was able to kind of switch positions and do a good job for them as well. So USC, Utah. I know you're excited. You're excited about that game. You're going to that game. Just looking at kind of some of the point totals they've given up. They lost. They only give 21 points. They're really not. They really don't give up a lot of points. So this is an opportunity for them to USC. I think Utah is I'm still gonna ride a little bit on I'm talking about the big voices. Like I think some people if they out physical Utah, people will have USC back on their good graces. But I think the guys like Joe Klatt, the people people like that, right. the people who want to write off USC, who put out negative USC content just for clicks, the first thing they're gonna say is they beat Utah at home soundly without Cam Rising.
Here's the thing about that too. At the end of the day, those people haven't wanted to write us off since week 1. You get the Feinbaums, you get the Joe Klatts. They weren't happy that that Caleb won the Heisman. You know what I mean? Feinbaum's talking crazy before. You get those guys, and that's what's going to happen. And I'm understanding of that. My thing is that we're gonna have to embrace being the villain. I feel like being talked down upon, not the villain, but just talked down upon. Embrace that, own that. And I think so. That's the one thing I loved about last week. I seen a different defense against Notre Dame that I said, oh, these guys heard the noise. and now they're answering. They didn't
They're
hear the
ready to
noise
go.
fold. Yeah, they're answering. We just didn't hold on offense. I think they're going to continue to hear the noise, and they're going to answer. You can't tell me, and I told somebody like this, I said, people said we're going to lose another game. I heard that all week, right? But nobody could tell me if I said, hey, I'll bet you $100 that the way we lose this game is Caleb throws 3 picks and we have 5 turnovers. Nobody would take the money. Nobody would take that bet.
No.
They wouldn't take the bet.
No.
Why? Because that's not Caleb Williams, right? So what I'm seeing from what I need, what we're going to see, and I believe we're going to see, is a bounce back game after last week, because it is a bounce back game. He had a bad game. So we bounced back from last week, and we're going to see the Caleb we were used to seeing, making plays with his legs, making plays with his arms, and beating this team.
And I think there are, ever since the bye week, they're overdue for a good big performance. Mm-hmm. And I think even the line on this game, I think the line on this game is 7. I think that alone kind of tells you a lot about, like, people are saying that people are thinking that USC is going to come out big, and win, and go ahead and win this game. What are your thoughts about a prediction?
I would say I'm in the lines of 59-3, 59-6. I don't think they score more. I'm gonna put some faith in Mr. Grinch's defense this week, and that bad offense. I don't think they score more than 7 points. I don't see it. It would take us making mistakes again. I don't see us making mistakes. I think that was a wake up call. I think we're going to put up points. I think we're going to put up points in bunches, and that's just going to be the onslaught. And mind you, yeah, they got us at home last year. We're at home now. That crowd is going to be rocking. That crowd is. I have a firm belief that the stadium, because of this game, and because of what we saw last week, the stadium is going to be. The Coliseum is just going to be. It's going from start to finish. It's going to be out of this world.
And I hope they get this victory is important for a lot of reasons, but I think it's important for college football to see what they're going to see in 2 weeks when Washington comes to town. I think that's going to be something that's going to be really special. I can't imagine, whether it's game day or whoever not being at USC. They probably, depending on who Georgia's playing, they might not be there. But
I think Georgia's took a hit because of Brock being out. So they're gonna. I think it's gonna be a wait and see approach on Georgia.
Yeah, so we'll see. So we'll see how that goes. But 7-point favorites. I'm gonna go out there. I'm going the other way. I'm gonna say USC wins. Let's see. I'm gonna go like 30-28. I think it's gonna be a closer game.
You think it's gonna be that close?
I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be a close game.
Wow.
I want to see him be back before I say I before
I
say he'll be back.
I understand.
Yeah. But I mean,
I guess I'm not optimistic. I'm just not optimistic.
With them, I just want to see them. Like, I just need to see the complete special teams, defense, offense game together. And then when I see that, then I can say, then they can take that, what they see in this game, and then take it to California, beat up on the Bears for one last time, and then set up the matchup that we all want to see. That stretch where we'll play Oregon and Washington game, homecoming. That's going to be, I want to see that game. I want to see that nuts matchup between Penix and Caleb Williams. Right. I just can't wait to see that one.
I mean, and I like it too, right? But I think I think that we don't have to have a complete game to win that way. And I guess that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think for us to win.
You're right. But I want to see a complete game. I want to see him do it though.
No, absolutely. I get what you're saying. That's what I said. My score is based off of. We don't need to win. We don't need to have a complete team game to beat this team soundly. Yeah. Right. I feel like we just need to have an offensive explosion. Put them on their heels early. 14, 13, nothing. Put them on their heels. They can't throw the ball back into this game.
They can't.
They're not going to be able to throw the ball back into this game.
No, I mean, he may be a Division I quarterback, but that kid is not. I mean, that kid is right. That kid's not a special player. He's just really not. You know where he's going to be. You can get turnovers from that kid. He's not a big time player. So
to me, that's why I say that. Like, let's put him on their heels. Like the running back, take him out the game. Right. Let's get him out of the game early. right? They're not. You can't. They understand that they can't run themselves back into the game. They're gonna have to pass the ball to get back into the game. That's gonna cause more issues. I think that's the reason why we go up big, and then we just let the route begin.
Let's see.
Because I just don't. That quarterback doesn't scare me. Their offense doesn't scare me. Their defense is nice, but I have a better quarterback. I believe in my guy. I believe I have a better quarterback.
100%. All right, Student Body Right USC podcast. Dwayne Douglas here and Coach B. Wrapping up here. USC at home against Utah. Big game for them because this is pretty much everything for them. This is the battle between. This is the opportunity where they have no wiggle room if they want to get back into the college football playoff. All right, Coach B. Anything else?
No, thank you, sir.
And also check out that newsletter. It'll be I'll put it in the bio of the podcast. So check out that newsletter every Monday. You talk some college football with Coach B. All right.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Peace. Fight on.